Kaspa just made one of the boldest moves in crypto. Its founder, Jonathan Sompolinsky, publicly rejected Binance and its listing practices. That's right. Kaspa, one of the most hyped proof of work coins that we know, in 2025 is saying no to one of the biggest exchanges in the world. In this video, we'll break down what was said, why it matters, and how it could affect Kaspa's price and its future, because this might just define the product's identity for years to come. Let's get into it. It started when Kaspa's founder, Jonathan Sompolinsky, was invited to a Binance event in Dubai. And this is one of the biggest networking opportunities in the crypto world at the moment. But instead of accepting, he's publicly declined, criticizing what he described as a pay-to-play listing culture. In his words, listing fees and supply demands might be a legitimate business model, but they don't align with cypherpunk projects like Kaspa. In short, he's basically saying, we're not going to buy our way into Binance. This is a pretty rare stance in 2025. Most projects would see a Binance listing as the golden ticket to instant volume and exposure. It's basically free money the second you get listed. So why would you possibly say no to something like this? According to several reports in crypto media outlets, exchanges like Binance allegedly already requested a significant portion of Kaspa's supply. And that's around the ballpark of about 3% of the total supply as part of the listing negotiations. For a fair launch project like Kaspa, there is no pre-mine, no VC, and no pre-token sale. So giving a slice of the total supply to an exchange could completely break down its decentralization philosophy. The team's refusal reinforces Kaspa's grassroots, community-first identity. But here is the trade-off. By refusing to play the exchange game, Kaspa could be, and likely is, slowing down its mass adoption. To understand why this actually matters, let's zoom out. When you've got a project listing on Binance, liquidity explodes, new buys flood in, market makers stabilize price, and retail investors finally have easy access. But in exchange for that exposure, the projects sacrifice independence. Kaspa is trying to build something bigger than a small price pump, a truly decentralized proof of work network that scales like no other. So by rejecting Binance, the team has basically said, we're not for sale. You can't buy this. It's a philosophical stance, the kind that earns respect from die-hard miners and decentralization purists. But it's still going to upset a lot of people that were waiting for that next big listing. The biggest, you might say. And there's another piece of the puzzle, which is Kaspa's technology. It runs on something called BlockDAG, which is a faster parallel version of the blockchain that allows multiple blocks to be added at once. This basically makes Kaspa incredibly efficient, but also more complex for exchanges to integrate. Some sources are suggesting that the delay isn't political, but technical. How can they make it work? Exchanges might need extra development and audits before they can fully support Kaspa's consensus model. So it's not just ideology, there's real engineering hurdles too. The question that we've all got is, what does this mean for Kaspa's price, when Moon, when Lambo, and all the rest? In the short term, a lack of a listing on Binance is a headwind. Fewer listings means less liquidity, less buyers, and a slower growth in trading volume overall. Kaspa might stay range bound between 3 to 8 cents for a while as the market is digesting this news, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stay bearish forever. In fact, this could set up a major long-term opportunity. And here is the upside. By not giving in to exchange demands, Kaspa is building its own credibility. It's reinforcing the narrative that this project is fair, decentralized, and community driven. Something the crypto world has been craving after all of these VC controlled tokens. This stand could possibly make Kaspa the people's proof of work coin, similar to how Bitcoin earned its trust early on. And if or when Kaspa eventually lists on a major exchange, whether Binance, Coinbase or another, it could trigger a massive liquidity wave because the supply and narrative have both grown organically. Some analysts even argue that by refusing to list now, Kaspa is setting up a bigger catalyst later. Think about it. The day that Kaspa finally lists on Binance without compromise, it will feel like a victory and not a sale. So Kaspa's founder has done what no one else in crypto dares to do. He stood up to Binance and said, no. It is a risky move and it might slow short-term gains, but could also make Kaspa stronger and more trusted in the long run. The question now is, will the community and investors stay patient enough to see the full vision play out? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think rejecting Binance was a good move or just a mistake that's going to cost Kaspa millions in liquidity? Drop your opinions in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed this one. Subscribe and keep an eye out for more deep dives from Blue Bear Crypto. I'll see you in the next one.